Let's see if these Washington State pennies are as good as the Washington State nickels I recently hunted. Hey everyone, it's RobFindsTreasure and welcome back to my channel. Like I said in the intro, we've got a couple of Washington State penny boxes thanks to a trade with Transit Dave. Now recently I had hunted a couple of nickel boxes from Washington State from Transit Dave and they produced pretty nicely. So I'm hoping and I'm optimistic that penny boxes 62 and 63 of this series give us some more goodies. Now I want to remind everyone that if you haven't watched the first 37 episodes in this series, to consider checking out the playlist linked both down below and up here. That way you get all caught up before catching the action about what we have in the album. Now, for those of you already caught up, you'll recall we have filled 181 spots in this penny album. Not too shabby at all. We have every single wheat cent from 1944 and on. We have most of the memorial cents, copper and zinc, except for a couple of small dates. And then we need a couple of more steelies, as well as a lot of them in the 30s, 20s, and teens, as one would expect. That being said, it's also been a few episodes since we've even slotted a cent in the album, although there are a lot of them that we could find in our future hunts, as long as they're in the box. Now that you're caught up, now that you remember where we're at, it's time to get this hunt on. Now, I've got a couple of boxes here that are sealed from Washington State. So let me go ahead and do a live opening on box 1 first, and we'll see if we have any fancy schmancy enders. All right, box 62. It's got a little bit of damage from transit, and you can already see that it is circulated, which is nice. But let me go ahead and pop the top so we get a full look, full bird's eye look at the enders in this box. Man. All right, here we go. What do we got? We got a mess from transit, but I think we should have all 50 rolls. It's not uncommon for these things to shift around, but you know what I got to do? I got to make sure that we have all 50 rolls. Either way, I'll double check, and then I'll bring you guys in on my very first find of the box. Also, for those wondering, I do have links to all my cornrow hunting mats, both down below as well as up here, if you have interest. All right, let me fix that, and I'll bring you back on my first find. Roll number 2, and we already have our first wheat cent of the hunt. It's going to be it's a 30s, but it's a 1938 filly. And I don't think we need a 38 filly. I think we need a 38 with a mint mark, but I'm not going to get mad. That's a 30s find as our first find of the box. Roll number 6, wheat cent number 2 is standing proud and facing us, and it's a pretty nice 1954 Denver, and we'll take it. Roll number 15, wheat cent number 3, 1957 Denver. Roll number 16, wheat cent number 4, and that's going to be a 51S. Roll number 22 is going to have wheat cent number 5, and it's going to be a 1947 Denver. Roll 25, wheat cent number 6 is actually a pretty nice 1958 Denver. We'll take that one. Same roll, and we have wheat cent number 7, and I'm hoping it's old by how it looks on the reverse. It's older, and I think it's going to be a 49 San Francisco, which it is. We already have it, but nice to see another San Francisco mint in our Washington box. Roll number 32. Wheat cent number 8 is going to be another S minted wheat cent. I already saw it. It was obverse facing. It's an older one, 1940S. We don't need it though. Roll number 35, and we have 9 wheat cents now, one away from double digits. This one's going to be a 56 Denver. Roll number 42, and we officially made double digit wheat cents. Wheat cent number 10, a 52 Denver. Last roll, second to the last coin of the last roll. Wheat cent 11 is going to be another 1957 Denver. I'll be back with a wrap up. We have completed that first box of this 2-box hunt. Not a bad box. We ended with 11 wheat cents, 1 pre-40s, but it was a 1938 filly, and I think we already have that one. We did get 13 Canadians, so the Canadians outweighed the wheat cents by 2. 11 to 13, and we also scored a 61 Laureate Portrait or Young Head Canadian cent as well. We actually only got 159, 4 nice copper cents, we'll cover those at the end, and 4 69S's, no DDOs. As far as copper, it's kind of light for a Washington box, about half the cup, not quite half a cup, about what I see in my DFW boxes. Let me slide that out of the way, score the tape on this, and we'll do a live opening on box 2 next. All right, I believe I've got the tape scored enough to maybe get in it and get the box open. Looks like we're good to go. All right, box 2 of the hunt, another Washington box. Any goodies on top? I don't see any goodies on top. This one looks like it's a 60s, and we've got to rearrange them once again. Let me get this box set up to hunt. I'll bring you guys in on the first find of box 2. It didn't take long. Roll 51 of the hunt. We have our first wheat cent to make a dozen, and that's a 42 Philadelphia. Roll number 58. Wheat cent number 13 is going to be a 1953 San Francisco. Roll number 64, and we have wheat cent number 14, 1953 Philadelphia. Roll number 70 of the 2-box hunt will finally yield our first wheat cent ender, and I think it's a 1952 something. Let's make sure and see if there's others with it. That wheat cent ender, which makes 15, is going to be a 1952 Denver. Roll number 76 of the 2-box hunt, and we're going to have wheat cent number 16 now. And this one's going to be a 1954, and I think that's a San Francisco. It is 1954S yet again. We're on roll 87, and we're finally going to get to our 17th wheat cent of the 2-box hunt, and it's going to be another 1952 Denver. And we'll take it on the board, and hopefully we can find 3 more to make 20. Well, unfortunately, the last 13 rolls of this Washington State penny box had no wheat cents, and as a matter of fact, we only had 2 wheat cents after the 75th roll of the 2-box hunt. We're going to end with 17 wheat cents, 11 in box 1, 6 in box 2. We did score 38p, the only wheat cent that is pre-40s, and I believe we have it, but we'll double check. As far as the Canadians, they're going to take the cake here. 19 Canadians compared to 17 wheat cents. So more Canadian cents in the Washington State box than wheat cents. We had 359s. We had a pretty good plethora of older Lincoln Memorial copper cents, and hopefully one of those upgrades, especially this 1966 right there. And I think we might need a better one. We ended up with 10 69S's, and we typically do get a lot of 69S's in our Washington boxes. Of course, no DDOs. On top of that, I did pull out a couple of 82D small date zinc cents to check against the album. I think we need an upgrade there, and we managed to fill the copper cup. Like I said, I don't think we have anything for the album as far as additions, but we might have some upgrades. Let me grab the album and bring it back in just a second. Well, it looks like we're kind of at a standstill here. Checked all the finds, no additions, and only one upgrade. It's not even that great, but that 1940S is definitely better than the one we have in the album. Not by a ton, but at least there's not corrosion and spotting on it, so we're going to replace that one. But outside of that, none of the nice ones we're able to upgrade, and no additions once again. Let me plug that one in, and I'll be right back with some final thoughts. All right, we plugged in the one upgrade. Still stuck at 181 out of 234 spots filled, and it's crazy how difficult it's getting to fill some spots. A lot of these are either semi-key or better dates, but there are some findable cents, and we're just not finding them. We need a box that's going to produce some 30s or a nice wheat cent dump in one of the boxes to help out the cause. I will bring up that we did find a really nice 1978 Canadian cent, and I am going to check it against my Canadian album, and I'll do that here in a second and bring you guys back for that. But man, it's getting tough to find wheat cents for the main book. Either way, hopefully you guys enjoyed this 2-box Washington State penny hunt. I want to thank Transit Dave once again for the trade. Yeah, nothing for the album really, but we did get an upgrade, and at least the book's in better shape than it was prior to the 100 roll hunt. If you guys are still enjoying this penny hunt and fill series, I'd appreciate that thumbs up. And as always, happy hunting, and thanks for watching. It's not a ton better, but it's definitely better than the 78 I had in my Canadian small cent album. I'll plug that one in, and hopefully we'll find a couple of other ones in future hunts.